So Robinhood stock has significantly been outperforming the S&P 500 year to date. And when we take a look at Robinhood from a percentage standpoint, year to date, it's almost up 200%. And this is simply because when we take a look at the earnings and the revenue, we're seeing Robinhood tremendously grow, while at the same time, when we take a look at the statement of operations, we're seeing that their expenses are rising, but they're rising slowly compared to the revenue. Now, I've criticized fund manager Cathie multiple times in the past with some of the names in her holding for her flagship ETF. For example, Roku, I think it's garbage. However, Robinhood is one of the names, a few names actually, that I think Cathie Wood is on the ball about. And in this video, I want to go ahead and break down why I'm pretty bullish on Robinhood going forward. Now, I recently saw this post on X highlighting how 65% of Gen Z believe that investing is their best shot at becoming a millionaire. Now, this is pretty important because what this means is that many individuals that are Gen Z are likely to be participating in the market, which, by the way, makes me extremely excited because over the last few years, I've been very passionate about trading and investing, and it seemed like only people above 35 really cared. You know, when I try to talk to 20-year-olds, 23-year-olds, 25-year-olds, it seemed like they could care less. I don't know why. It just seems like people don't care until they get older, but we're starting to see a new trend where the younger generation is now interested in investing, and most of them believe that it is the path to go ahead and gain wealth. And that's honestly the truth, right? I mean, we don't even have to talk about this. This is not the video to talk about why you should invest. If you're watching this video, you probably already invest. Now, when it comes to Robinhood, this is pretty important because their user base is very young, and it's great to see that a lot of young people are obviously interested in investing, but it's also one of the main reasons why I'm bullish here for Robinhood is because they're likely to continue revolutionizing the industry, but a completely different industry, right? So Robinhood already revolutionized the brokerage industry, and I've seen this with my own eyes, right? For example, I started investing and trading somewhere around 2015, 2016. And back then, right now, I'm not that old, I'm not that young either, right? I'm in between. I'm like one of those people where I'm not your uncle, but I'm probably a big bro, right? And so back then, to go ahead and buy into a stock, right, you had to pay commissions, right? People don't even know about commissions nowadays, right? Nowadays, people are like, what? You used to have to pay to buy and sell? Yes, right? So, back in 2015, I used to have TD Ameritrade, right? One of the brokerages I had, and it used to cost, I believe it was like $12.50 just to buy into a stock, and then $12.50 just to sell out of a stock, right? So essentially, you really couldn't day trade unless you knew you were going to make more than $25. Otherwise, it was worthless, right? You couldn't do like scalp trading. That stuff, the commissions would eat up your profits, right? And by the way, that was really cheap. The $12.50, that was really cheap because back then, for the older generation, the people before me, it was even worse. For example, my mother, I remember her telling me that she used to have to call her broker, right? So, back before the internet was a thing, and all these online brokerage platforms existed, you used to have to literally pick up the phone, call them, say, hey, look, I want to do an odd lot, 20 shares. How much is it going to be? They would quote you, hey, that's going to be $55 just to buy in, right? Now, Robinhood changed that, right? Because Robinhood started the commission-free, type of platform, and then eventually we ended up seeing all the brokerages follow suit, right? Because eventually Charles Schwab ended up buying TD Ameritrade, so I don't think TD Ameritrade still exists. I think their platform, Thinkorswim, does, but regardless, nowadays a lot of these brokerages, you don't have to pay to buy into a stock or sell out of a stock. Maybe for options, maybe some brokerages still have commissions for options, but nowadays most brokerages, in order to compete with Robinhood, they had to get rid of the fees or the commissions just to buy in and sell out. So we already seen Robinhood revolutionize the trading industry, but I think they're on the verge of revolutionizing the banking industry, right? And that's huge. I think a lot of people, and by the way, I'm loyal to one particular bank, I won't say their name, but a lot of people are frustrated with their banks, right? The big banks, they hate them, they're frustrated, and I get it, right? I used to work for some of the big banks, and I remember, people would come in, and I don't know why they banked with us, but they'd be like, I hate your bank, and I'd be like, why do you bank with us, right? But anyways, I couldn't tell them that. My job was to get them to invest with the bank. But anyways, long story short, Robinhood is on the verge of revolutionizing the banking industry. And I say this because when we take a look at their website, they are looking to enter into the banking industry. And something that I've never heard before that Robinhood is looking to introduce is this concept here, which is cash delivery. So they're proposing the idea of no longer needing to go to an ATM or to the little teller line drive up, right, with the little tube. I don't know if you guys know about that, right? Or going into the branch and speaking with the teller, right? They're looking to start a new trend where money gets delivered to your front door. Now, me personally, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know. Just maybe I'm just old school. Maybe I want to go to the ATM or the drive up. I don't know, right? But they're introducing new concepts, and I think they're likely to go ahead and change the banking industry just like they did, the trading brokerage industry. And I think it's gonna be a big hit to a lot of the large banks. They're gonna have to try to keep up to the fintech companies like Robinhood, who are just very innovative. Now, real quick, I always forget, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future videos. But I wanna go ahead and talk about what we're seeing in terms of the price action for Robinhood. See, Robinhood is currently at new all-time highs, but what's really important to take note of is the fact that our recent close is actually, we saw Robinhood close above the previous high that we saw previously. And so what this means is now we have this area that's likely going to be support. And I honestly think as we have the new information coming out, the new stuff coming out with Robinhood in the fall, and as well as like crypto, new crypto kind of projects that they're working on, I think we could honestly see Robinhood continue to go up. Now, full disclosure, I don't have any underlying shares in Robinhood, but I currently do have some call options. For Robinhood. So just want to, quickly disclose that, but also want to mention that you should only trade and invest in whatever you see value in. And maybe I could be wrong. Maybe Robinhood is significantly overvalued. Maybe it's just going to collapse and just go to, the depths of the market and go bankrupt. Who knows, right? I'm just stating that I'm pretty bullish on Robinhood, and I really strongly believe that they're likely to revolutionize the banking industry. Now, for me, I think that we're likely going to see some resistance around the $120 area, but we could possibly, once we break above that, go into $150. As far as the price for Robinhood by the end of this year. Now, again, I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did, but that's just my thoughts on Robinhood. Now, you guys let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Robinhood? By the way, do you use Robinhood? What brokerage do you use? I do have Robinhood. It's not the brokerage that I use primarily, and that's for a different video, right? I'm not a big fan of their charting that they provide. It's really not the best. But if you're someone who, hey, maybe you're not looking at, stocks from a technical perspective and strictly from a fundamental perspective, then Robinhood is perfectly fine. Or maybe you may be trading on Robinhood but using a different platform to do your charting. So, at the end of the day, it's whatever you see value in. But I am curious, what platform do you use to trade, right? Put it in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to check out the links in the description below, because one of the links is going to be a link to get access to my free, right, institutional playbook, where you're going to get PDFs, exclusive videos breaking down how to look at the market from an institutional perspective, and it's completely free. You'll also get access to my weekly market pulse insights once you subscribe to the email. So definitely check that out. But before you guys go, make sure to watch this video right over here, and I'll see you guys on that next video. Take care, guys.